everyone. This is Evelina here. This is Love Zero Waste Weekly. So I have to do the usual shutting off all the notifications. Okay, see how this goes. Linda Vasilescu will be joining us shortly. So we're gonna get started in just a few minutes. Let's see how it goes. La 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 la. See if she can get on board. It's always a tricky with these lives that it takes some time before you get the notification that it's actually happening. So that's why we're sometimes a bit confused in the beginning. So now I think we're good to. Let's see, Linda is joining us. And I have Alanis watching over me here as usual. Let's see how it goes. It's always exciting. And now we're live. Awesome.
Hi.
Hi, how are you this morning, Linda?
Great, thank you. Rain is good sometimes. I guess it rains where you are as well.
Yes. I'm close to Vienna. And you are in Vienna at the moment, I gather? Okay.
I'm in Vienna, it rains as well, like it was in the last week, and it will keep on raining for the next week, I guess.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think we're good to go live straight away. So I'll just click my way through here. So my name is Evelina, and our guest today here at Love Zero Waste Weekly is Linda Vasilescu. And she will be talking about her business Recreate. But before we jump into all of that, I just wanted to ask you how you're doing this morning, Linda.
Well, great. Actually, I'm happy that it's a normal kind of a fall day. I mean, it wasn't as normal in the last summers when it was extremely hot, or in the last winters, but now it's really like normal October rain.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, awesome. So for those of you who are watching this, I want to give you a bit of background. This is Love Zero Waste Weekly, and sometimes we invite guests to this space, and sometimes it's Malin and I, my co-host of Love Zero Waste, who are kind of scanning our communities for zero waste and circular economy related news. And today we have a guest. So this interview is part of Love Zero Waste collaboration with Zero Waste Europe. Throughout the month of October, we're scanning Europe for zero waste trends. And you can read more about this collaboration on thegoodtribe.com and circulus.biz. And we'll link to that also in the notes if you're interested in that, in reading more about the collaboration. So our guest today is Linda Vasilescu. She is the co-founder of Recreate. It's a startup based in Romania, and consumers are ditching packaging. So this is what we'll be talking about today. As you might know, this week in general, we are exploring naked products or those those that usually come in the shape of cucumbers and potatoes, but they don't always come in those shapes. Sometimes they come in the shapes of books, toys, clothes, for example, or other non-food items. And the startup Recreate is developing reusable packaging for consumer goods ordered online and delivered with couriers, as well as the digital logistic infrastructure behind this delivery service packaging. So Linda, who is our guest today, she's a strategist and circular economy expert, and she's dedicated to making green business competitive and profitable, something that we are very, very fond of on Love Zero Waste. So can you talk us through the business first, like the reusable packaging solution, but also maybe a bit of the digital solution behind this?
First of all, thank you for inviting me. As I was telling you before when we talked, I'm really excited about talking about topics which are trending actually in Western Europe, but are applied in Eastern Europe. It's a bit of a pride that we take out of this, because usually green topics are kind of associated to Western Europe. And it's true that the impact and the excitement around them is more in Western Europe, but it grows in Eastern Europe. So just to sum up our solution, the physical part of it is, let's try to change the linear packaging cycle. So packages which exist just to transport things, right, to their owner, to their shopper, and then are being transformed into waste. Especially in Romania, they are turning into waste because recycling systems are really bad. And anyway, most of these single packaging are not recyclable anyway. So we said, let's see how we can actually turn them into something which is valuable, right? After they are delivering the first package. So we came up with this.
Oh, you have one. That's awesome. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. We love that.
And this is actually something that could hold in 80% of the e-commerce goods, right? Because it actually can get bigger or smaller. It has a Velcro. So you can, what I put in here is my wallet. Maybe someone wants to, buy a wallet. And this is how much space it takes, right? And if you think about the standard cardboards, which are being used, the boxes which are used for delivering goods, such as wallets, you would think about something which is about 80%, or this is actually 20% of that thing. So that thing is 4 times bigger. This is what our research shows. So what we do is we offer different solutions. This is the first one. It is a flexible one. It's a kind of a bag which can be used up to 25 cycles. But we will come up in the future with different solutions, with boxes, with things that are good for our anti-shock, so to say, things which are securing and tracking where the goods are. For example, for electronics, you need to know where they are on the process and so on. And everything is reusable. So that's on the, let's say, physical part of the offer we make to the e-commerces. But the point is, behind that, we are doing everything in a digital way. So the way they can get into working with us is they register on our platform that we are about to create right now, but this is our vision. They register there, and then we do everything related to inventory management that has to do with packaging. And at the end of the day, the packaging business for them turns out to be cheaper this way, because they don't need to buy boxes or bags each time they are out of them, because they come back, right, from the couriers and so on. They don't transport air. And a lot of administration is a lot easier with this. So we try to change a green concept, which I'm sure your followers understand. They understand the benefit of reuse to anything else from the environment perspective. We try to change it into a business proposal, which makes sense for the e-commerce websites, which at the end of the day, even if they say they are great and they care about the environment, at the end of the day, they are businesses, right? And they care about their profits. And we think actually we can have a good value proposition for them.
Oh, that's awesome. So how do you see, like, in a bigger context, how do you see the role of reusable packaging in the transformation towards zero waste business, online shopping, or perhaps also offline shopping?
Yeah, well, I think it is kind of a new topic that the big players start to look at. There's a lot of topics where e-commerces have been pushed by the environment to look at. They are looking at delivery options which are greener, let's say. And that's how, for example, in Romania, but I'm sure in Western Europe it's a lot more developed. It started this trend of delivering by bike, for example. That's kind of on the delivery side. Also lockers are being pushed, so collection points. But packaging is something that they recently started to look at, because constraints on the European level start to be stricter on single-use packaging and so on. So I think it's something which is just emerging, I would say. I think it's emerging in Western Europe. We discussed with big players like IKEA and Zalando, and they look into this. Everyone has a concern. They don't really know how to solve it. Theoretically, the reuse option is the best, of course, but everyone is kind of tackling here and there because it's a new thing. And we did talk to zero waste stores, because you mentioned this. It is on, let's say, on genre on the e-commerce landscape. They also have physical stores, and they are extremely interested on the environmental impact of that. So they are rather talking, when we talk to them, it's a lot easier to talk about the environmental benefits than the business benefits, right? So I would say zero waste stores are the first ones which understand our concept and join it.
Well, that's fascinating. I know you did a big test run also with a bookstore in Bucharest, I think. But
it was in Bucharest,
nationwide,
it was the whole nationwide, yeah. So what we did is this summer we sent out about 700 pieces orders basically of books packed in our flexible packaging that I showed to you before. These were requested by the customers, so they were opt-in. It was an opt-in option, and it actually worked perfect. And the reason why we think that this was a great experience is because of this opt-in. People have to, and I think this is everywhere, Eastern and Western Europe, it's the same. People have to understand that packaging, this type of packaging, is really something that has only a functionality. At the end of this functionality, it is waste, right? So you don't need to hold on to it, right? But not everyone understands this. There's a lot of people in Romania that we sometimes laugh about, people that have the bag with bags. They like to collect the bags, and then when they realize this is just waste, they just throw it. But it's you know, it's not a conscious thing. So what we did is we with this test we had there, we tried to see how many people are actually conscious that this is just a functionality behind. And luckily, again, there were bookstore customers, there were people that were reading, educating, and so on. Impact was pretty big. Without any type of advertising, 1 out of 5 customers chose this option.
That's
which
awesome.
I think it's a great start.
Yeah, it's impressive. So how do you view your product kind of in a European context? Do you see that there is a market beyond Romania?
Well, absolutely.
I think so too. Just to add.
The reason why we started in Romania is because I am actually Romanian, although I live in Vienna, and we won an award from Impact Hub Bucharest, the first prize of a Reuse Hub incubator. And there we started talking to people from e-commerce, from the courier company, and so on. But our core market is not Romania. Romania is a market where we are very happy to see that we have attraction. But for us, European market is the target. And that's why we created this digital system, which is extremely scalable. So that means this, in short, in let's say, a year or 2 years time, our target, our vision is that we offer all the e-commerces from Europe an option to have a reusable packaging solution. It may be the bag, it may be the box. We will have AI behind algorithms behind our software, which says in function of what you have in your basket, in your delivery, what type of packaging is more adequate. And we hope that we will cover everything, or 90% of what the e-commerce web stores are selling within Europe. So that's our kind of vision.
Yeah, I think, I mean, if you're aware of the problem of waste, then every time that you get a delivery with excess packaging, I mean, this would be the brilliant solution for that.
Exactly, because the point is, I mean, you don't need that, right? So we are actually talking as you know, knowledge on green topics is less in Eastern Europe than Western Europe. Therefore, we started selling our product on the functionality. You don't have any waste to care about, right? Even if you don't care what happens to the waste afterwards, you still have to get rid of it from your house, right? And we all know how much filling there is, how much bubble wrap, how much big cardboard boxes, and you need to find a solution for it. And this is, just clean. It just makes your life cleaner and easier.
Yeah, for sure. I know you're also trying to raise funds at the moment, or that you are raising funds at the moment. Can you tell us a bit about that as well?
Well, actually, it's really interesting. We talked to, we are listed on the biggest crowdfunding platform in Eastern Europe. It's a platform for investors where they get equity, so not products, not like Kickstarter, more like business investors. And we are putting our offer there. We offer 10% of our company to raise some money so that we can create the system that I told you about, and we can move to the next round and really scale our business. What we realize is that there's more interest from investors which would put in more money because they understand the vision. They are more like strategic investors rather than investors which put in little just to play on the stock market. So it's maybe impact investing, it's called. What we see is this standard equity crowdfunding doesn't really work with impact investing, but what works is really finding strategic investors which understand that. So I would say we should really do more about communicating on what impact investing is, especially in Eastern Europe.
Okay, that's fascinating. So those are the ones that kind of get it faster. But do you need to explain the concept of zero waste to your potential investors?
What we need to explain to them is that they will actually get their money back 10 times. That's actually what you need to explain to such investors. And the way we explain this is that the environment is changing. There's additional regulation, and there's additional changing customer behavior, which will make this business work. So yeah, because there's no one else on the market, get on this train and be one of the first ones to you know, be on our side to actually offer it. So you have to a bit change your speech into a speech where you say, there's a blue ocean, there's a market, there's no one offering this, and this is the direction. And then if you look at all the communication from the European Union, there's a summit these days happening, right? And Green Deal is one of the most important topics which is discussed there. This is where the world goes. You know, sooner or later, everyone will need such a thing. But there's no other solution right now. So better get on this train. This is how we try to sell it to them.
Yeah, that's very good. So, and I mean, there's an urgent need for a packaging solution like yours. So what external factors would make scaling up Recreate easier? Like if you think about policy level, you mentioned it a bit now with the Green New Deal, financing, collaborations, changing consumer behaviors. Like what are if you could change external factors?
Well, first of all, I would say consumer behavior is something which needs definitely to be addressed, because there's a reasoning and there's a logic behind which makes this thing make sense, but people are not there yet. They did not go through this process, not most of them, right? So there's a lot of education on the consumer level which needs to be done, in the sense that, guys, this makes more sense for you, right? So in this type of speech, there's one thing. The other thing is, in Romania, for example, we don't have the culture of recycling, first of all, and we don't also have kind of instruments for that. So no one really understands. Everyone is a bit pissed off that this system doesn't exist, but no one really has solutions because there's no infrastructure behind. They will start next year in Romania with some type of deposit refund system, which will maybe make people a bit more aware about the impact. Yeah, we hope that these policies will be in place. We don't really have control over that, but I would say creating this whole framework, which comes from one side from the regulation by regulatory bodies, the other side education, is something which definitely needs a lot of work, especially in Eastern Europe.
That's interesting.
But what I would say is, just to finish, there is a reason to think that things are changing there as well. As I said, 1 out of 5 people chose our solution. The other thing is we did a test, a more general test on a generalistic website where we explained the solutions and we made the survey who would want this. And 77.3 people said they would prefer this solution. So, you know, there are reasons to think that consumer behavior is changing. It's a trend already.
That's good to hear. So one last question for you, Linda. Where do you see, like in 5, 8, 10 years, where is Recreate as a business?
Well, Recreate, hopefully in 5 years, is one of the biggest platforms for reusable packaging in Europe. We want to stay independent. We want to work with all the courier services. We want to work with all the postal services, any delivery option which is offered, and also offer different solutions. That's one thing. The other thing is we want to move into creating other kind of circular economy-based solutions for e-commerce, starting from returns to or how to make returns better, to greener delivery options and so on. So there's a lot of things that you can expand this concept into, and yeah, it's a blue ocean. There's not so much work done at the moment, so there's a lot of work to do.
You have a good position to get started. Awesome. So thank you so much, Linda Vasilescu from Recreate, for joining Love Zero Waste Weekly this week. If those of you watching want to learn more about this company, you can check out their website. It's r-create.ro. So I'll put that in the notes as well. So you
And there's
can
the English
quickly
version, so just -en, and then you'll get to the English version.
Perfect. We'll link to that as well. And you have some really good explainer movies on your website also, for those of you who want to know more about how the product works. So thank you again for joining us today, and thank you to all of you watching. Have a lovely day and a lovely weekend ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, guys. Bye.